My friend, some major news has surfaced behind the scenes involving the Los Angeles Lakers. If you're a true fan, this story could have the entire Lakers fan base excited. Momentum is building around a significant move, and Los Angeles may be closer than anyone expected to pulling off a surprising play. I'll break down everything that's been reported because whenever the purple and gold start exploring opportunities, there's usually something important developing. But wait, because the most interesting part is still ahead. Before getting into all the details, if you love the Lakers, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We follow everything happening behind the scenes, from downtown Los Angeles to El Segundo, and you won't want to miss any updates this offseason. Now let's get right into it. A notable move is reportedly taking shape around the NBA, and the Los Angeles Lakers are being mentioned more frequently in discussions. Rob Pelinka and the front office understand that the roster still needs improvement, and whenever a worthwhile opportunity appears, Los Angeles is expected to explore it. According to Mark Stein, the Miami Heat are believed to be leading the race to sign Klay Thompson if the Dallas Mavericks decide to move on from him. However, an important detail remains. Dallas does not appear interested in simply releasing him from his contract. Stein reported that there has been direct off-season communication between the Mavericks' new president, Masai Ujiri, and Thompson. Despite that contact, Dallas has maintained since June that it would prefer to trade Klay if possible, and that is where the Lakers could potentially become involved. Thompson's father has already indicated that he would like to see the four-time NBA champion return to Los Angeles. To make such a scenario possible, the Lakers could explore a multi-team trade structure. The challenge is that Dallas would likely have little interest in acquiring Jared Vanderbilt because the Mavericks' roster situation is already crowded. As a result, a third team may be necessary to help facilitate an agreement. Los Angeles could also gain a potential advantage by turning Vanderbilt's contract into an expiring deal. Klay shot 39.3% from the field last season and is no longer the elite defender he once was during his prime years. Nevertheless, his three-point shooting remains valuable. Even during a season that produced a career-low percentage, his 38.3% mark from beyond the arc still represents solid production. His contract, valued at approximately $17.5 million, runs through the 2026-27 season. Vanderbilt holds a player option for the upcoming season and is expected to exercise it. Therefore, the objective would not be to recreate the version of Klay from years past. Instead, it would involve converting a complicated contract into one that expires sooner while adding a proven perimeter shooting specialist to the roster. Another important element of this story is Thompson's apparent desire to return to Los Angeles. Christian Clark reported that Klay would like to come back to the city, while Stein emphasized the veteran's interest in competing for a championship again. Dallas may not currently offer that situation, but Los Angeles potentially could. If the Mavericks ultimately decide to trade Thompson rather than allow him to leave, will the Lakers become serious participants in those discussions? The situation becomes even more intriguing because Klay is not the only player who could help address a need on the roster. While Thompson continues to generate headlines, the Lakers still face another concern: the backup center position. One player who could emerge as an appealing option is Clint Capela. After DeAndre Ayton stated during the 2025-26 season that he was not Clint Capela, Los Angeles could determine that the veteran center is exactly the kind of player needed to strengthen the second unit. Capela still provides size, rebounding ability, and a physical presence around the basket. For a team seeking to rest its starting center without giving up defensive stability, those qualities could prove extremely valuable. There is also a situation developing in Houston that might help create an opportunity. The Rockets are expecting Steven Adams to return by the beginning of preseason activities. Adams himself has expressed confidence regarding his recovery, although he stopped short of guaranteeing that he would be fully healthy. He acknowledged that injuries, especially ankle issues, make firm predictions difficult. If Adams is genuinely healthy and prepared to assume a backup role, Capela could become a significantly more movable trade asset. In that case, the Lakers might attempt to take advantage of the opportunity. The complication is that Houston remains a Western Conference rival, meaning the Rockets would likely require meaningful value in return. Still, there is a roster need that could encourage discussions. The point guard position became a concern after Fred VanVleet's ACL injury negatively affected Houston last season. During the summer, the Rockets signed Marcus Smart, who reportedly came from the Lakers. Even though both VanVleet and Smart have dealt with recent injury concerns, additional depth at the position could still be beneficial. That is where Jaden Hardy enters the conversation. Hardy's salary can fit alongside Capela's approximately $7 million contract, making the financial aspect of a deal workable. Even so, Houston would likely seek additional assets or draft compensation. At the same time, keeping Capela as insurance behind Alperen Şengün and Steven Adams could become an expensive luxury. Should Adams return at full strength, exploring Capela's trade value would appear logical. For the Lakers, acquiring him would provide an experienced backup center, and the offseason could become even more active from there. Bradley Beal has signed with the Clippers. Russell Westbrook shocked many observers by announcing his retirement, and several players are still uncertain about what comes next in their careers. One of those players is Jonathan Kuminga, and that is where this story becomes even more complicated. Now we arrive at the player who may generate the most intrigue among Lakers supporters, Jonathan Kuminga. During the 2025-26 season, Kuminga averaged 12.2 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 2.3 assists per game. After eventually moving on from the Warriors, he joined Atlanta and settled into a reserve role for a team that managed to win 2 games against the Knicks during the first round of the playoffs before being eliminated. That playoff series served as another reminder of why certain organizations continue to value Kuminga so highly. He used his athleticism and physical tools to defend effectively on the wing. Offensively, he relied on his strength and explosiveness to attack smaller defenders near the basket. It was precisely the type of performance franchises envisioned when he entered the NBA as a lottery selection. For years, Kuminga attempted to carve out a consistent role in Golden State, but never fully fit the vision Steve Kerr had for him. The expectation was that a productive run in Atlanta would create a pathway toward a substantial new contract. Instead, that outcome never materialized, and the current situation has become complicated. Reports indicate that Kuminga is seeking a contract worth close to $20 million annually. The Lakers have been linked to him, and the Cleveland Cavaliers have also surfaced as a possible destination. However, there is a major obstacle standing in the way. Neither team possesses sufficient salary cap space to sign Kuminga outright. Consequently, a trade would be required, and Atlanta is unlikely to cooperate without receiving meaningful compensation in return. The Hawks would need assets as part of any arrangement that allows Kuminga to join another franchise through a trade. That creates a genuine stalemate. Either an interested team agrees to send lower-value assets to Atlanta in order to complete the transaction, or Kuminga must reconsider the financial expectations attached to his next contract. There is also another possible path. He could accept a smaller deal with a team that interests him, hoping that a strong season would restore his market value and position him for a larger contract in the future. No matter which route is ultimately chosen, the ideal outcome for Kuminga appears to involve finding a new team. When you look at the possibilities facing Los Angeles, the scale of potential off-season movement becomes clear. Klay Thompson represents an opportunity to convert a difficult contract situation into an expiring obligation while adding perimeter shooting. Clint Capela stands out as a possible answer to the backup center need. Jonathan Kuminga remains one of the most fascinating candidates to strengthen the wing, which is a position the Lakers have been attempting to improve. Now the question shifts to the fans. Out of Klay Thompson, Clint Capela, and Jonathan Kuminga, which player would make the most sense for the Lakers this season? Leave your thoughts in the comments because it will be interesting to see where the fan base stands. And if you want to stay updated on all the latest Los Angeles Lakers news, rumors, and trade possibilities, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. This offseason is not finished yet, and a major move could still be developing behind the scenes in Los Angeles.